Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Okay, we're back, and David mentioned RE/MAX of Lubbock. My gosh, if you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, talk to our friends at RE/MAX. That's Tony Lloyd, Scott Toman, Rick Dykes are the owners over there, and you've heard all those names because they're all big in Lubbock and big in West Texas. Deborah Kopecki, Director of Operations, Jeremy Reed, Director of Sales. They've got a great thing going out there at 107th in Milwaukee. Lori Manning, Amy Wimmers, Carolyn Aubrey Bishop, Rusty DeLoach, Kyle Rogers. I saved Kyle Rogers' life this week. That's just a whole nother story. Jessica Dykes, Mo Evans, just a bunch of great realtors over there at RE/MAX of Lubbock.
Mo Evans. All right, RE/MAX, if you're looking, you give them a call. They can help you. And also, if you're looking for one of the finest places to eat in this part of the country, go to Las Brisas.
Yeah.
114th in Topeka. Great food, great atmosphere. You can dress up, you can dress down. It's amazing how great this restaurant is.
Let's ask our next guest what he wears out to Las Brisas.
Let's do. When he goes a lot, I think.
Yeah.
He likes it.
That's
it's
where
good.
Winners go.
Las Brisas, 114th in Topeka. All right, Coach, are you there?
I'm here, guys. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. We had a good first day, and we got another big day today. So just
Corky
trying to get
Classic.
these kids ready.
Corky Classic. It's something special to you, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it's the most special one for me. This is the 7th or 8th one that we've been able to do, and we probably got the best group of teams here ever for the Corky Classic, and so it just keeps getting better and better, and I get to honor my old friend, and it doesn't get much better than that.
Who are some of the special teams that are coming in, Coach?
Well, we have Florida, and we have A&M, and we have Miami, we have South Carolina, Kentucky, Arizona State, the Power 5 groups, and then we have national champion West Texas A&M in D2. We have national champion junior colleges, but we just got the best Power 5 group probably ever that we've brought in. We never have had South Carolina or Kentucky or even Florida come in, and so we won the national championship indoors. Florida won it outdoors. Yeah. So just get those kind of teams here. I don't really know any program that's been able to pull that off, and so I'm very thankful for that.
Now, does Florida bring a handful of guys, or did they bring and gals, or did they bring pretty much their team? They
brought all their team besides the long distance runners. And
hey, that's big league for you folks out there. That's big league. That's Texas Tech and Florida. That's about as good as it gets.
Yeah,
it doesn't get any better. You're right. I mean, they're really good, and we're really good, and so is A&M, and so is Kentucky and South Carolina. Boy, you just bringing some of the leaders in the NCAA and their events are from all those teams.
Well, here's something I noticed too is that University of Texas wasn't there. Did we quit inviting them when they jumped ship on us and went to the SEC?
We didn't quit inviting them, but they don't come, and we don't worry about it.
We're thankful.
It's all fine with us.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. If you don't want to come run on the best facility in the country, then that's your problem.
That's exactly right, Coach.
We got plenty of other ones that are willing to come and proud to come. And how are we doing so far? I got some of that with Shelby Frank. She's new to our team, right?
She is. She's a transfer, a grad transfer. She's getting her master's, but she won the weight throw. She was second at the NCAA last year for Minnesota, got her degree, and wanted to come to a good team. So we're thrilled to have her. And then we had Naomi Krebs on the women's side run a personal best in the 60 hurdles. Ayanna Jones, personal best in the long jump. Brianna Howard, a new girl, 60 meters, a PR. And so we had some really good things on the women. And then we had Malachi Snow, our new transfer from San Jose State, qualify in the 60 and the 60 hurdles, along with Antoine Andrews, who was our Olympian last year. And then our little freshman pole vaulter went 18-1, Sean Gribble. So I feel like all those kids I mentioned probably qualified, for the big show in March.
Isn't that something?
18-1.
Well, I saw that Shelby Frank beat our record here at Tech by 9 feet. Almost.
Yes, she is. She's pretty good. We haven't had anybody in her league in that weight throw, let me tell you.
That'll help. That will help a ton.
Oh, yeah. Such a nice kid and really excited to be here, and so it makes it more fun.
Well, isn't it nice when a kid wants to go to a winning program and they think of you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we weren't in that position years ago, so it's I'm just so proud of where the program has come, and that way people think of us, when they're wanting to leave and be it in a better situation, well, they think of us. So that's definitely changed in the last 5 to 10 years, so real proud of that.
Well, in the news lately is NIL. I mean, that's all over the sports news. In fact, I was at a funeral yesterday, and that's half the conversation we had was on NIL. And is NIL as important as it obviously is in football and basketball?
Well, the winning teams, it's important. I can tell you that.
You want to win, it is.
You don't want to win.
The winning teams have got it, and so I would say it's real important, and it's going to be really interesting. With the new ruling, if it ever gets here in April, what everyone's preparing for, is to have the in-house NIL, but not the outside, like the collective.
Yeah.
So we don't know how that's going to work, and it's really up in the air right now, but I think that's going to change it a lot, especially if they get really hard on allowing these kids to get the outside NIL. Well, then just football and basketball are all really the only teams that are going to be getting any. And so we'll see how it goes.
Well, I did mention earlier that Lubbock Christian has kids out there competing. Is that right?
They do. Oh, yeah. I talked to Lee Daniel last night. And
good.
Of course, Tyree Gales, the head coach, is one of our Red Raiders, and they're such good people. And well, I tried to – the meet is way too big, but I let 33 teams in. But I wanted to help the teams that are around here. They don't have any place to run.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to help South Plains and New Mexico Junior College, of course, Lubbock Christian, West Texas A&M. Man, I know people get mad at me, but I was from rural Texas, and I'm
you country boy.
Abilene Christian Division II, and then came here, and I just feel like you can't forget your roots, and you got to treat people good. And
yeah,
I love giving them an opportunity.
Well, what time did y'all get done last night, since you've got so many teams?
Not till about 9 o'clock, and so but we get started here at 11, and we're going to be done by about 4 o'clock today, so it's going to go real fast.
Okay,
good. It's good to go fast in the track deal.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Well, we ran all those heats of the 60 hurdles, the 400s, all that stuff last night, and so we got a lot of that out of the way.
Okay,
good.
We got the shot put and the triple jumps today on the field events and high jump, and then we'll run the 200s, and we'll run the 4x4 and a few other events, but not as near long a day today.
Now, this weight throw that you're talking about, that
it takes the hammer throw is what you throw outdoors, and so they've designed a 35-pound weight that you can't throw as far, but it depicts and you do the same form as you do in a hammer throw. So it's kind of the substitute for indoors.
But you don't spin around in a circle. Do you spin around in a circle?
Yes, you do.
Then you let
spin in a circle.
Because I saw a video of a guy, just heads up for you, that was standing there watching it, and the person let it slip.
Oh, yeah.
And it hit him inappropriately.
Oh, yeah, that ain't good. They're not supposed to be around there. Now, the officials, they got to keep a heads up out there.
Yeah.
And,
it's dangerous.
You been to a lot of meets?
Dangerous.
That hammer throw.
Javelin's dangerous, too. You don't want to be a javelin catcher either.
All right, have you ever seen two questions? One, have you ever seen anybody get impaled with a javelin, or have you ever seen anybody spinning around with that hammer and let it go the wrong direction?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I saw it. I was at Angelo State for a junior college national championship recruiting, and I saw a javelin go through a girl's side. And they left it in and took her to the hospital. They didn't want her to bleed out. And then she lived and all, but she wasn't paying attention, and it kind of went through the backside out front. And that's the most terrible thing I've about ever seen.
Okay,
yeah,
now back to the hammer throw. You ever seen anybody let go and it just head off the wrong direction?
Oh, all the time. But with the net should catch most of that. We got a big net there. And but we don't let anybody – we try to not let anybody be real close to the cage or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, let me ask.
We've never had an accident here, so I think we're doing pretty good.
There you go.
Knock on wood. That's good. I know y'all are careful. We got the finest facility in the world right here in Lubbock,
Absolutely.
Texas.
Absolutely.
So great. So if people want to come out and watch today, at 11 o'clock you're starting, right?
That's correct. Field event starts at 11, and the running starts at 12, and we'll be done by 4, somewhere in there.
That's awesome.
And you could even squeeze in a basketball game in between the early track basketball.
Terry
and the
Fuller
end of
was
the
here
track meet.
yesterday, and he's going to do the exact thing.
He's
So,
going back and
guarantee
forth.
I guarantee you will. All right, this is the Corky Classic, and David and I are both wearing our Corky T-shirts
I got mine on.
today. Do you have a favorite Corky story you want to share with us? Because there are a lot of Corky stories.
well, this is probably the best one that y'all would understand. Is I'm at the Texas Relays, and I'm in the motel, but Corky's running around with James Blackwood and anybody there, and he wants to go to this barbecue joint, and you got to get there at 8 in the morning because it's so popular. And so he's getting there real early and calling me saying, "Oh man, I got me some barbecue and blah blah blah." Well, I'm at the track meet. I'm coaching hard, but I'm just listening to him. And then he's showing back up after he'd eaten his barbecue, and I would think it's around 2:00 maybe, and it's about 100 in the shade. And I hear this behind me in the stands, "Hey Wes, hey Wes," sounds just like him. And he coming. Here was this napkin. And he's holding it down. He's grabbing it to me, and he said, "Here, I got you one." And it was a rib. He had brought me a rib, but it was 5 or 6 hours, and it was 100 degrees in the shade. But just like him, boy, he had this little bag he'd carry, and he'd put ribs or anything in it, and so.
Yeah,
he was something
Everywhere
else.
you ate was the best place you ever ate. The last place he ate, always the best place.
Oh, that's right. We're going to Oklahoma to watch Tech baseball one time. We're driving. We're in Oklahoma in the middle of the boonies, and we're hungry. So I said, "Hey, let's call Corky and find out." It's some little old town. And I said, "Hey, Corky, we're real near Oklahoma. Is there a place?" Oh, gosh, yeah, Gary. There's that barbecue place right over there. So that's where we went and ate. But he should have written a book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever rode with him in a car where he's driving?
I have, I think.
He sits there, he gets the newspaper, and he reads the newspaper while he's driving. And it is an experience, let me tell you.
Well,
Yeah, because he's talking, and he's turning around looking backwards and
Absolutely.
every which way.
He's his piece of work, wasn't he?
He was. The first time I ever saw him, it was when I went to Tech in the fall of '71, and he was coaching basketball. He was a recruiter, and that's the first time I ever saw Corky. And
he's a doozy.
He's something else.
Gerald tells me the worst thing he ever did was let him quit basketball and go to track.
Yes, it's exactly. He was the greatest recruiter. I've never seen anything like it.
That's what he told me. Yep.
I went out there that year, Wes, in basketball. He recruited 4 JUCOs that year that were, if I said their names, you'd know a lot of them, and 7 freshmen. 11 in that 1 year he recruited.
Oh, yeah. Well, he would tell me he would drive to New York and go to the Bronx.
Yeah.
The Bronx, and sit out there while they're doing pickup basketball to recruit somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, in New York,
they knew him. Yeah.
In the roughest part of town you could be, and he could meet anybody and talk them into his shoe.
I think that it was Rick Bullock's mom that said, "Will you please sign with Tech so we can get Corky to leave?"
I believe it.
He needs to. We don't have enough room for him here in our house.
I understand.
And let me ask you this question. I told Gary I'd wait to get you on here because I didn't know this, and you may know it, Coach. But where? Because we were talking about the Tulia, people from Tulia that have come down here and been great Tech athletes, and there was one, Marcia Sharp, was from Tulia, but where was she born? Most people would think probably in Tulia or Amarillo or Lubbock.
Or rural.
Yeah, in rural.
Huh.
Where was she born?
I don't really know.
I had no idea.
I heard it's a small town, from my understanding.
Whidbey Island, Washington.
Really?
Oh, wow.
That's what it says here in the wiki deal. Yeah. I can't believe I never have heard that.
No, I haven't either.
Whidbey Island.
In the armed forces or anything, or
I don't know. It's I looked at that and I thought, well, I thought I was at the wrong deal.
I don't know when they moved from there to Tuya, what that was all about.
Where were you born, Coach?
Sounds like a pretty place.
In rural
Texas. It's 10 miles from rural.
In where?
Haskell.
Oh, in Haskell, yeah.
Went to the big city to be born.
Haskell had a hospital and rural didn't.
Back just a little older than Wes and us. You were born at the house.
Well, my daddy was born on the kitchen table.
Oh, man.
That's what he said they did. Unbelievable.
That's so unbelievable. Coach, we're so proud of you and what you're doing out at Tech and what you've already done and what you're going to do. And, national championship outdoor, national championship indoor, and all those you got at Abilene Christian.
Real quickly, because he could usually get the points down to pretty close to right on a napkin.
How much are we going to win by?
All right. Do we have a chance at either men or women winning a national championship this year?
I think we got a chance. Yes, I think we lost Terrence. We lost 3 national champions. Terrence won 2 events, the 60 and the 200, and then we had Caleb Dean win the short hurdles. So that's really hard. You got to nearly have about 2 or 3 national champions to win that meet. But I like our team. I may not have many national champions, but I got a bunch of thirds and fourths and fifths, I think.
Yeah.
And if I've got enough of them, we're going to have a chance.
So if you can coach them up.
I think this is our best team ever in our women. But, I don't know about winning the national championship, but we want to win the Big 12, and we want to, be up there high, top 5 in the country. But our men probably have a slighter chance of being, the national champion.
All right, Coach. We're done. We got 10 seconds left. Just want to tell you thank you for honoring Corky each year, and thank you for being the representative you are for Tech.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
We'll see you later. Good luck.
Thank you. See ya.
Wes Kittley. We'll be right back with Graham Harrell.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Welcome back to Sports Talk with David Thetford and Gary Ashby. We're proud to be here, and we have Graham on the phone. Graham, thank you for doing this today. We appreciate you taking time to be on.
No problem. I'm glad to be on.
All right, buddy.
Well, we were tickled to death to see this week that you're got into the NCAA Hall of Fame. And how did you find out that you were?
They ship you a ball. To be honest with you, I had no idea. So, the past couple springs I've gotten, notified like, hey, you're on the ballot, whatever. So it's almost to the point, it's like I'm tired of being on the ballot, you know what I mean? Because I get to say congratulations for being on the ballot every year. And it's like, I guess it's time to either get in or get off, But I didn't know when they told you made it in. So, last spring I got, again notified for, like they said, the 3rd or 4th year. And I was on the ballot. And haven't heard anything since then, so I just assumed it probably had already passed. And they actually ship a ball, and on the ball, they just FedEx a package to you, and there's a football inside of it, and then on top of the football there's a little note that says, cool little note that says something to the extent of there's been 6 million people that have played college football, and only 1,100 of them are in the Hall of Fame.
Oh my gosh,
welcome to the club.
That's amazing.
And, yeah, it was. So, that was, like I said, just because I didn't know the timeline, I wasn't expecting anything, and then, you get that, and that was so that was a cool moment, and it was a pretty cool day. So, I was excited about that.
First person you told?
I guess my wife. I don't know. I can't really. Yeah, probably my wife, and then. She told my parents, and then one of my buddies, he and I were texting back and forth. One of my best friends from back home in Ennis, and he actually was my roommate in college too. I took a picture of the package because I was sitting on the front porch and I saw when I opened the package, so I just snapped a picture of the package and sent it to him because, like I said, we were in the middle of a texting conversation anyway. Just said look what I just got. He thought that was pretty cool. So
yeah, it is pretty cool.
I thought it was cool to me. Yeah,
it's pretty amazing. Brittany, you're talking about your wife.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yep. And obviously I had to tell her, or she would have probably if I would have told someone before her, she would have been mad at me.
I know it.
You got to kind of follow the rules there, you know.
don't want
we
that.
definitely know. It never changes. It never changes. But
I've been waiting for it to change for the last 15 years, and I'm still realizing it ain't changing, I guess.
it ain't
Yeah, but
changing.
you will.
Well, what's so great, Graham, and we've had great players at Tech, but you're the 7th Texas Tech football player
Read the other 6,
to
David.
be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Listen to this list. E.J. Holub,
Yep.
Donnie Anderson, Dave Parks, Gabe Rivera, Zach Thomas, and Michael Crabtree. What?
Wow.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's pretty good company there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a pretty big. Like I said, I thought it was a really cool, a really cool moment and a pretty humbling moment, just because like you just said, how many great. I mean, you're going in with into a pretty elite group, and I actually didn't know. Like I said, I saw something that said I was a 7th Texas Tech person. I was kind of curious who the other 6 were.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, that's a pretty.
It's the elite of the elite.
And
Yeah.
I couldn't be more honored to be going in, like I said, beside those guys.
Yeah. It's 15,000. You probably know this number. I'm sure you think about it a lot. 15,793 passing yards in his 3 seasons for the Red. I mean, y'all, that's ridiculous. 4th in the voting for the 2008 Heisman Trophy.
All right, who were the other 3?
I don't know. Who were the other
Graham,
3?
At the Heisman?
Yeah.
Tebow, Sam Bradford won it. Tebow was there, and Colt McCoy. was the
All
other
quarterbacks.
Yeah. You were better than all of
3 in
them.
the Big 12.
Yeah, I know it. You were tons better than those guys, especially Bradford.
Well,
anyway.
I just wish you were the one voting then.
I know it. Well, you'd have been a lock if I was voting.
That's right. Yeah, I would have won the dang thing if I could have had you voting for that thing. But,
Yeah.
that was a fun season, and it was a really fun season to be in the Big 12 because I think it was really a fun time to be in the Big 12 because those obviously Oklahoma, Texas, and us all went 11-1 in 08. And then,
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma State only lost 3 games, and the only 3 games they lost were to us 3, who all went 11-1. So they had a heck of a team that year too. And so that was just a really fun time to be in the Big 12, and a neat year, obviously for us, but a pretty cool year for the conference as well. So that's obviously some great memories, and we got to play against some great players.
Man, and I got to thinking about iconic, greatest plays ever in Texas Tech history, and of course, Uta Crabtree for the Texas win is one of the top 1 or 2. But you think about Zach Thomas intercepting against A&M and running down into the end zone and running into the bell when he gets there. Wes Welker running back the punt against A&M.
Sideline of that one, and then Billy Taylor flipping over against the University of Texas, and Rodney's got his
touchdown.
raised.
Who was the guy? And Graham, you may remember this. Who was the guy that scored against Oklahoma in the south end zone? I can't remember his name. It just drives me crazy. He scored on the last play, I think, of the game.
Was it OU?
To beat OU.
Torian Henderson.
Huh? Torian Henderson. That's it. Yeah, Torian Henderson.
The OU people didn't think he scored.
No,
the
they
Tech
didn't.
people think he did.
Oh, they still don't think he scored, probably.
He was in there.
Yeah, he was definitely in.
Those are some of the great plays. When you're mentioning the greatest plays ever at Texas Tech, and I was yelling at you that night against Texas. I was up in my seats, and you were doing that little flicking your thumb up in the air.
Taking your time, no hurry.
I was watching, and I was going, hurry up.
Well, here's the deal. They scored. They went down there and scored with. They hit a big play and got down to the 4, and they scored as fast as humanly possible. So I was trying to make sure they didn't have any time left when we scored.
Yeah.
They left us too much time.
They did.
We were just making sure that we weren't doing the same. But no, that was when you do go back and watch that. I'm with you, because I've obviously seen that a ton. It's like, man, why weren't we a little more urgent there?
You just seemed like it was no big deal. we got it, y'all.
Like I said, I kind of feel the same way, but when I was out there, I wasn't worried about it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, well, you almost completed a pass to the wrong team the play before.
Blake Gideon. You ever run across Blake Gideon?
Every now and then I run across him recruiting or something, and I do my best not to bring that up, but like if we're in high school or something, sometimes like the high school coach will bring it up, and I just I'll let it be because I was on the right end of that one. So there's not a whole lot I have to say. He's the one that probably has to have some things to answer.
That was so fun. Of course, that is immortalized everywhere. I see pictures of that and posters and everything of that play against Texas that day. It was so fun. How was playing for Mike Leach?
Yeah, that was Mike Leach was one of a kind, obviously, and playing for him was I think I was really fortunate. Because in recruiting, you don't really get to know him that well just because he's so different, and you really don't know what you're signing up for until you get there. And, I think with Coach Leach, it's either there's no like in between with him, I think that either, you play for him and it clicks, or you're like, man, forget this guy. And fortunately, for whatever reason, he and I, like I said, the way he coached, the way he saw the game, just worked for me perfectly. And we obviously had a great relationship. I spent 5 years with him as a player and was with him every day because he's my position coach. And then I went for coach for him for a couple of years at Washington State. And so I loved it. There's only one Mike Leach, and there's only ever going to be one Mike Leach. And he saw the game different than anyone's ever done it. He ran a program differently. He coached differently. And but man, for me, it was just the perfect fit at the right time, and it was kind of the right personalities all kind of meshing, and because of it, we had a great run. And he could, I think the thing with Leach was he would say some crazy stuff sometimes. As long as you didn't take it personal, then you could play for him. You ever take it personal?
You couldn't take it personal. You didn't mean that personally to me, did you?
Yeah, he didn't really mean what he just said. You kind of had to take that approach and you almost had to be able to laugh when he was yelling at you. And like I said, I think we had a bunch of Eric Morris took the brunt of a lot of stuff. Eric Morris, he got yelled at more than anyone probably, and he had a great night for not taking it personal. But like I said, I think we had a bunch of people that kind of understood that, and our personalities kind of worked.
Yeah, and
worked with Mike Leach's, and that's really the reason we had as much success as we had, I think.
Yeah, it was something else. Can you remember what he told you the night after the Texas game? Can you remember the conversation you had with him after we beat Texas on that last play?
To be honest, I don't remember after. I remember, he the way he saw everything was always interesting, and he could be pretty colorful at times, and then he could be, on the sideline, usually on game day, and every now and then there he could be pretty colorful too. But most of the time in like crazy situations, and there's some like really cool videos of it, whether it's at Texas Tech or Washington State or whatever, where everyone's losing their mind around him, and he looks like he's not real sure what just happened, and he looks confused, like we score a touchdown to win, and he's sitting there like gazing off into the sky, like what happened, But taking the field, it was something, something to the extent of like, hey, we have plenty of time, and if we just go score, we'll probably win. It's like, he has a minute and a half left. That's kind of the way that works, yeah. But, that was his big rah-rah speech to me taking the field that night before the game, before that final drive at Texas. And, so that was, pretty interesting. But the crazy thing is, I think the next week we played Oklahoma State at home, and they were ranked, I think, a top 10 team as well at the time. And so, after that game, it was awesome, and you want to celebrate, but you really didn't have much time. And because you had, like I said, another top 10 team coming into Lubbock the next week. So we probably moved on pretty quickly. But he, like I said, the way he saw the game, the way he acted, the way he reacted to certain situations was one of a kind. It's pretty fun.
He was unique.
You said earlier that you didn't want to leave Texas much time to score. Well, you left them 1 second, and that was just almost enough by the time we got through. Didn't we kick off from like the 10-yard line by the time we got there?
Everybody stormed the field.
Yeah, we kicked because they stormed the field twice, so we got back-to-back personal fouls, and so we were kicking off from our own 7, and I'm with you. Like you said, 1 second was almost too much time.
I'm about to say.
I'm like, good. We're trying to squib it from our own 7, and it's like, well, if they just fall on this, there might be a field goal range. But
might be a field goal. We just wanted to celebrate so bad. I've never Benedict Tech game that it was more exciting than that night. And I was there when Zach intercepted that pass too, and you couldn't believe the Aggies threw it, but they did. But you just
Aggies
they were Aggies.
Screw things up, don't they?
Yeah. Good, that's good thinking. It was just. Did you and did y'all have any special signals or signs or that you knew we were gonna you had Crabtree? Did he give you a look when you looked? Just get it to me. We're going to win the game.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, that one, we got the ball and we ran besides a little screen pass I threw to I think Eric on the second play. We threw a little bubble screen to Eric. Besides that, we were really just running 4 verticals the whole way down the field. But like you said, we could tag things and we have hand signals. But on that last play. To be honest with you, I thought there's no way they're going to let me throw this because it was obvious this was going to be the last offensive play. Now we might have, there'd be 1 second left. You might try a long field goal or something if we don't hit it. But I came out and, the line up, and I'm like, well, I think it's 2-man, which it was. And I thought there's no way in heck they're going to let me throw this ball to Crab. Like, that safety better go get on top of him. And so I figured, like, I'd probably be able to have – my best shot would be hitting somebody up the seams. Because they're going to double Crab, and the safety played it pretty honestly. To be honest, like he did what he was supposed to do. I guess how you teach the coverage. He kind of played between the two instead of going and just taking Crab away. When he did that, I knew immediately where the ball was going.
Yeah,
it was going to the best player on the field, and so I threw it to Crab, and that was a back shoulder throw. And we had done that so many times. I was pretty confident it was going to work. Now I will admit, because it was a 1-point game, and he caught it when he caught it. I was just really hoping he stepped out of bounds so that we could kick a field goal and win. But if he would have done that, I don't think it would have been. Everyone would remember that game probably, but it wouldn't be near as iconic of a play. So
no,
it worked out better.
It worked out just like it was supposed to.
That was better than mine, I guess.
Oh gosh, that was great. It really was.
All right, NCAA Hall of Fame. Is there a ceremony? If there is, where and when?
Yeah, there's a ceremony. They do it in. I think it's December 9th. They always do it in December. It used to always be in New York, and a few years ago they moved it to Vegas, so at least the weather will be a little better. And so December 9th in Vegas is when they're having the ceremony, and I think it's December 9th, somewhere right around that date. And that'll be a cool night, and I hope a bunch of people from that era can make it out there because obviously it's an unbelievable honor, but I think a lot of those times, it took a great team to do that. If we would have, if I had thrown for, 15,000 yards and we were going 6-6 every year, you still want to go in the Hall of Fame.
You wouldn't be in there.
No, because you had some great teams and had some great people around you. I really wish the whole team could be out there to celebrate. I know that won't be possible, but I'm hoping a bunch of guys from that era can make it out there. Or people from around the program during that time can make it out. And kind of make it a celebration for all of us.
I think you'll be amazed how much red and black is there.
Yeah, we have great fans, as you know, great fans. It does say here, Graham, that you're going to be recognized on the Texas Tech University campus this fall as part of the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame on-campus salutes. Do you know about that?
No.
We're sure to get you an invite, maybe.
Hopefully I get invited to that deal.
And one other thing, are you going to be offensive coordinator at Abilene Christian?
We're still figuring that part out. But,
okay, well, it's already in the paper, so congratulations.
Great man.
Yeah. All right.
Tell your daddy we said hello, too.
I will. And great to hear from you guys.
Good talking to you. Thank you for doing this, Graham.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Graham Harrell, everybody.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Quarter 4 out at Slide and Loop, South Loop, and that's where you'll find the same crew. If you walk in there, you'll go, well, this is the same people. It is the same people because it's Brad Wyatt and his team, and all they did was change the name of the store, and it's now called Quarter 4. But Gary's got his Quarter 4 cap on.
Yeah. And believe it or not, the name Quarter 4 came up yesterday at the service for Ben Ralston.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. He's talking about Cardinal Sports Center and all that.
Well, Tony was there too.
Yeah, it's got a unique name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking to Tony about it, and he said, you got a unique name, and it is a unique name. But it's starting to catch on with me.
I like it.
I still think it's going to be Q4 before the next few years.
Yeah, we'll see. I kind of like quarter four.
Quarter four?
Of course, I like fourth quarter too. That was maybe too much. Fourth quarter.
I think they're catering to the dyslexic.
Okay. Well, they got everything you're looking for in sports. They do trophies. They do shirts. They do our caps. All these caps you see here, they've done these for Gary and our.
Oh, that's exactly
our
right.
TNA caps, and they've been great partners here for Texas Tech and all of our area high schools and everywhere around here. Been a great job at quarter four. R.C. Taylor Distributing Company. They're located at Avenue L and the Marcia Sharp Freeway, but that doesn't matter where they're located because they come to you and they bring you what you want, convenience store type items, and you just get your account set up and you call in or probably do it on the computer, not call.
I will suggest this though: go down there, take a tour, and just because they got stuff that you never even would have thought about that you can sell out of a concession stand.
Yep.
9,000 items.
And if you will, you booster clubs and you schools. I don't know who's the purchasing agent, but you ought to. These people ought to be on your speed dial, R.C. Taylor, because they can get you stuff quick and they'll bring it right to you and unload it. All righty, that was fun having Graham Harrell on. And I appreciate him saying that, Gary, because he just seemed. I was looking at. He seemed so nonchalant and. Yeah. He said, I watched it too. It seemed like I should have hurried a little more. He didn't seem like there was any hurry at all.
And I was like him. I was thinking Crabtree need to get out of bounds, have 1 or 2 seconds to kick a field goal, win the game,
That's what we thought. Not Crabtree.
No.
He's going to score, and he did.
And he did, without a doubt. Okay, we mentioned a couple others. Zach's interception return, Billy Taylor flipping in the end zone.
Wes Welker at A&M.
Wes Welker at A&M. I thought of another one, the hook and ladder with Donnie Anderson, and I think it was Jerry Shipley.
It was Jerry Shipley. Caught it, pitched it to Donnie.
Against A&M or Texas?
I can't remember.
It's one of the big games. If you do it against Slippery Rock, it's not near as exciting.
But the fun part of that, of course, Donnie was on the show and talked about it. He said, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there. You get me the ball. And he was.
And then they're not all necessarily happy endings. One that I remember is, and I was in the end zones when this happened, University of Texas kicks off to Texas Tech. Texas Tech receives the kickoff and punts it right back to Texas. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, well, it's legendary. I mean, because you're sitting there going, did that just happen? And it was because of the wind or something. We wanted, I don't know. But they kicked off to us and literally caught the ball and punted it back to them.
Yeah.
It's one of the craziest plays, I'd say, in NCAA history.
It really is.
Yeah.
Of course, I was probably wrestling in the grass. I'd go home after those games and I'd just be itching.
Yeah.
Have grass all in my clothes. And they'd come down there all the time and say, y'all quit that. Y'all sit down.
And the grass would go all the way down to the dill.
It did.
For a while. And then all of a sudden they built the ramp. But
cramped our style.
Or can you think of any other plays that you go, that was certainly Dwayne Slays hit on
my God,
that Kansas State quarterback or Kansas State or Kansas quarterback. Just
who was it? Kansas or Kansas State?
I don't know.
I think it was Kansas State, but man, he lit him up. The kid just went. You thought he was dead.
Yeah. Well, we had one last year. It wasn't near as big a play, I don't think, but on the goal line, I think it's our guy that got hit. That got hit and just
thought he was dead.
Thought he was dead. So anyway, well, if you got a play that you remember, you can text it in. I'm going to read a few texts. One of them's, let's see, two of them are very kind, and one of them's, well, I wouldn't say kind. It just is. Let's see if I can find them. Hang on.
I was talking, some guy, we got a call, and I was in there by Brennan, and I talked to him on the phone, and he was saying that the whole family of Harrells, Graham's dad, Sam, was
I wanted to talk about his
coach.
dad. You talked to him, didn't
I texted with him. I texted with his dad.
I was wondering how he's doing.
He's doing pretty good, I think. He had to get out of coaching, and but got some special treatments, and
But he went to like some other country.
Yeah,
didn't he?
Maybe to Mexico.
Well, that's another country.
I know. It is. It's down there by the American Gulf. But in fact, Sam Harrell, Graham's father, was the highest paid high school football coach in Texas as of the 2005-06 academic year. He coached at Reagan County, Ennis. Of course, he was so great at Ennis where Graham played. But he went back to the sideline coaching in Brownwood with Bob Shipley, father of Jacksonville Jaguars former wideout Jordan Shipley. And
there was another Shipley, it seemed like.
And he's got a brother, Graham does, it's coaching at Abilene Wiley. He's like a defensive backs coach or something.
Well, so
they're all going to be home.
There. Yeah, they'd all be right there. And Keith Patterson's a wonderful human, so
my gosh.
I hope that works out today. We might even have to load up and go down there for a game.
This article that was on the internet, you know about the internet, don't you?
Yeah.
It's
that thing that
Al Gore made it.
Yeah.
It's it was on the internet, and it said Graham Harrell will be hired as the next offensive coordinator for the Wildcats. But that doesn't say he is the next offensive coordinator. I just went ahead.
I guess they're still in contract negotiations.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
I hope he is. That'd be so fun. Coach, and you're right, Coach Patterson. Wouldn't that be a great guy to work for and with? Okay,
I'm going to get us caught up on text. Doesn't take long because we pretty well taught them not to text. But we're asking you today if you remember a Texas Tech football event that stood out. All right, this texter says, Coach Kittley is one of the best ever. I appreciate all he has done for Texas Tech. Wreck 'em. Next guy says, David T. That would be you.
Oh.
Or I'll give you a choice. You want me to read it or you want me to not read it?
I don't care. Read it.
I'm going to read it. Thank you for your service to Lubbock sports community. I attended the girls' game at Lubbock Christian versus Monterey. It was the first girls' game broadcasted in LISD history. Close first half.
What was? I don't remember what game
I guess it was the first. I guess it's the first one that was.
Where we started doing them on TV.
Yeah.
I can't even remember when that was. It's so ridiculous that I can't remember stuff.
It's a blur. Okay. Here it says, isn't it iconic that Graham Harrell is in the College Football Hall of Fame and Texas Tech can't find a time to get him inducted into ours? He should have went in with Crabtree long before Mahomes ever went into the Hall of Fame Ring of Honor. Okay. Here's a texter says, next one says, I agree completely. And it's not the same guy. Sometimes you read like five that are similar and you go, wait a minute, that's the same guy 5 times. But no, this is a different guy. Says, I completely agree. It is a complete embarrassment. I'm not sure he would accept an invitation at this point. I guess you have to donate millions to get in now. Well, that's wrong. We're talking about the Tech Hall of Fame?
And I think they're talking about the Ring of Honor.
Oh, the Ring of Honor. Yeah, no, that doesn't have anything to do with money. But I'm sure Graham's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd have to be.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Here's it's a good one, texter. Now, listen, texters, I'm going to read them today. So this texter's a good one. And I remember I said they're not all happy endings, just like life. It says, SMU kickoff return, Bobby Leach. This guy was at the game, backwards pass, ended in a shock at the Crowd Jones Stadium. I'm literally on the sidelines, on the west sideline, not sidelines, I'm in the stands on the west side.
Yeah.
And I see the kickoff, and he flubs it. And I don't think he flubs it on purpose. But if he flubbed it on purpose, it's brilliant because it sucked people in when they see the fumble. It sucked the Raiders in. And anyway, he picks it up, and then he turns and he throws it sideways, backwards a hair. It was legit. And the guy catches, and the first thing I do is I look down the sidelines to see what do we have down here that's going to save the day. And all I saw was like every 10 yards there was an SMU Mustang waiting for somebody to block. And they ran that thing back.
What year was that?
I think they were number 2 in the nation when that happened.
Does it say what year?
It doesn't say. But I
was there that day.
Yeah.
That was a heartbreak.
No, I saw it. I looked down the sidelines, and it was like they were just perfectly placed, waiting for somebody to block. So anyway, all right, let's see. I guess that is okay. Okay, here's another one. I don't know. You tell me if this is negative or just a fact as this guy sees it. You ready?
Yeah.
Would Patrick Mahomes be on the list as the top quarterback? That's a question.
At Tech, we're talking about.
He never did a thing for Texas Tech when he was here, and he left early. He never had the records that Graham Harrell had. Graham Harrell should have been in the Hall of Fame long before Patrick Mahomes ever got put in there. And they're saying Hall of Fame, but they mean
because they're both in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And I think Graham would be considered. But let me tell you, different eras were different types of quarterbacks. Rodney would be up there.
Yeah.
In the top, because they didn't do what Graham got in that offense where, every quarterback we had put up huge
B.J.
numbers.
Simmons.
Yeah, he just did it 1 year though.
1 year.
See, Graham had 3 years. Just multiply BJ's by 3. We had some great quarterbacks through that time. So Graham would certainly be there, and Mahomes didn't have the opportunity to have the players around him like.
I agree with that. He needed better players around him.
And so Mahomes would be there, Rodney would be there, Joe Barnes would be there. What's the guy from the 50s? Not Tarbox, but
Madelich. No. Who was the quarterback from the 50s? Charlie Napper.
No.
These are all names that were quarterbacks at Tech.
No, but anyway, there have been some good ones. Tom Wilson was a good one.
Yeah, Tom was.
So we've had some good
quarterback.
quarterbacks over the years. So anyway,
but if you had to look at it though, Graham Harrell, if you look at the numbers and the career, Graham Harrell would be the best. I would, in my opinion, he has the numbers to verify that. He was just so good and so calm.
Yeah, I would have no.
Jack Kirkpatrick, is that who you're thinking about?
Yeah.
It's
Junior Arterburn.
Yeah,
there were some good ones. No doubt about it. So anyway,
that was from Gus. He thought of Jack. Your classmates are lighting up our text message. They get them going. You got them going.
I know. On this texter, and this is a good point because, like I say, stats can be a little deceiving just because of different eras. All right, let's see. First of he's in. I'm going to read it exactly how it's written. You guys pay attention to your writing. First of he's in the Hall of Fame. It's the Ring of Honor he's not in.
Yeah.
And Graham's been busy coaching. They'd kind of like for him to be able to go to the induction ceremony. Same thing for Welker this year. His bye week finally lined up with a home game. Okay.
So they're saying that Graham Harrell will be in the Ring of Honor someday? That's in their opinion?
I think there's a good chance of that.
Yeah, I do.
I think there's a very good chance of that. In fact, I'll say it will happen. You heard it first here.
Book it.
So yeah, really.
Go ahead and get your reservations. We don't know what game, but it'll be good.
Okay.
And very deserved. Very deserved. He was outstanding quarterback.
All right, this texter, you said what year was it?
Yeah.
1982, according to this.
What were we talking about?
I'm not going to think they're any smarter than us. So.
What were we talking about, though?
That SMU.
Okay, 1982. Yeah.
Okay, everything isn't a conspiracy. Don't be so stupid. Y'all be nice out there.
Well, it'd be a conspiracy about what?
I guess.
Giving money to get
Graham not getting in there.
Yeah.
And he will. I feel certain of that. And let's be sweet. Y'all be kind. All right. That record-setting game with Mayfield and Mahomes is probably my favorite. I was there. So fun. That was.
Well, let's not shortchange Patrick. He did things that nobody else could do. I've never seen anybody do some of the things he did.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. When you talk about differences, just look at Kansas City's offense this year.
Yeah.
Without the wide receivers that they've had, and the offensive line is very average. You can put the best quarterback in the world behind an average offensive line, and he might look good, but he ain't going to be great.
They only go 15-2.
Yeah, see there?
Yeah.
Well, and once again,
in one game they didn't show up.
And here's how I differ from a lot of people: is I see quarterbacks that have these great records, and I look and say, well, yeah, that team had a great defense, had a great offensive line, had a great this, so they had a great quarterback, and he got to have all the accolades that come with that. But there's some great quarterbacks that played with crappy offensive lines.
Yep.
Maybe they didn't have a defense that could stop, where you could outscore them. So anyway, it takes the whole package to be, like the Patriots. They had a lot of everything when Brady. And my God, go back and look at those Super Bowls they won, or the way they got into Super Bowls. There's almost some divine intervention in that. Some stuff that you go,
well, that's sort of like
how
Patrick,
in the world
too.
did that happen?
Patrick's won some games, especially lately.
Yeah.
And part of that, Gary, is that winners just figure out a way to go win.
That's right.
He and Brady.
Yeah.
They just figure out a way to go win.
Yeah, and figure out a way for the other team to miss a field goal. Or clear out the snow. You got a snow blower to clear out the snow.
They can't beat him.
You've been listening to the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live Saturday mornings from 9 to noon on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.